Hey, good morning, Santa Clarita. Welcome in. How you doing? You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi, and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. I am Matt Watson, and you know our show. You remember. Our show, Eye on the Valley, is brought to you by SCVi and iLead Schools. We are a network of charter schools, and remember, friends, when I say charter, you say free. Charter, free! We are a network of charter schools with campuses in Castaic, Agua, Dulce, Lancaster. We've also got a fully accredited online school, a burgeoning home study program called iLead Exploration. You know what? We've got 6 different schools, 8 different programs, actually 9 different programs, I believe, for you to choose from, all free public charter schools for anybody, basically anybody that lives in Southern California. Check us out at iLeadSchools.org, and you can get information on whatever type of school is right for your kids. Again, iLeadSchools.org. Do yourselves a favor, head on over there now and peruse us as you're listening to a couple of hours of quality programming right here on KHTS. So yeah, we keep our eye on education in the Valley and across the nation, like our show says, but we also like to keep our eye on the Valley as well, bringing you everything that you need to know about what's what here in the Valley. And we try to do it all while bringing a smile to your face because, you know my personal philosophy. If I can't giggle a little bit while I'm doing it, then I'm not doing it. So, gets me in trouble once in a while in board meetings and funerals, but it's all good. We like to have a little bit of fun. Why don't you have a little bit of fun with us? You know, yeah, I hear it. Engineer Andrew's out there. He's shouting, "Hey, who's the new guy?" I hear you, Andrew. For those of you who are our regular listeners, you probably figured out that we've been on vacation for a little while. You know, like they say, I takes a lot of vacation because I gets a lot of vacation. Actually, our staff has been on vacation for quite a while, and so when our staff goes on vacation, we go on hiatus here on Eye in the Valley. But if you're not a regular listener, you might not have even known that because Engineer Andrew has been great about putting up some great reruns that we had going on and, rerunning some of our best shows from back in the spring. But we are back now, and we are live, and we are super excited. The new school year is just around the corner at iLead Schools. We're starting up on Tuesday. So we're excited about that. We got a great lineup over the next couple of weeks here on Eye on the Valley. We've got new school leaders coming on. We've got city officials. We've got movers and shakers in our community. One of them's coming up in just a minute. And, our local sheriff's captain, he'll be joining us here in a couple of weeks. And we're going to kick it off with quite a bang today. I'm really excited about today's show. To start off the show, our first show back, producer Sarah really did an amazing job. We've got the president of Leap Children's Museum here in Santa Clarita. That's right. Did you realize that there was a children's museum in town? Did you? Actually, with all the amazing work that Carrie and her team have been doing over the past few months, I bet you probably did by now. Well, today you're going to meet Carrie McCoy if you haven't met her already and hear all about this children's museum that she's developing. And later on in the show, we'll catch up with Samantha Diem. Sam has actually been on the show a few times in the past. She is a student with iLead Agua Dulce. She's actually been with our school organization for quite a while now, and she's a senior this year. And tonight she's going to be participating in a community event that you'll have the opportunity to attend and support her at. It's a free event to attend, and Sam is actually working on her Girl Scout Gold Award. We're very proud of her, and I'm going to be out there supporting her. You can be out there supporting her. You'll meet her in hour number 2. So, yeah, it's great to be back. Let's go ahead and get started. Joining me as my first guest, Carrie McCoy, president of Leap Children's Museum. A graduate of UC San Diego, Carrie has worked as a teacher and high school counselor for another charter school network here in Southern California. Prior to that, she worked as a rape crisis counselor and has also served the JCI, that's the Junior Chamber International, as their Vice President of Training and Development, as well as their Executive Vice President. She holds an administrative credential from San Diego State University and a master's degree from the University of Laverne. Carrie was honored as one of Santa Clarita Valley's 40 under 40 in 2022. She's a big dreamer, a big doer. She's a collaborator and a problem solver. She is the president of Leap Children's Museum in Santa Clarita. Carrie McCoy, welcome to Eye on the Valley.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
So glad you could join us this morning. I know you've got a busy schedule today, and so we appreciate you making a little bit of time for us. Carrie, before we get started, tell us a little bit more about yourself. I mentioned a little bit of your professional background, so tell us a bit more about kind of where you've come from, what you do for a living, and what kind of experience you have running a museum, Carrie.
Okay, thank you very much. So I was born and raised in Santa Clarita. I thought that I would get away, but I ended up coming back after having children because
They always do. Yeah.
Right? It's the best town to have children in. And when I came back, I started. Well, I had already been working here at Mission View as a school counselor, but I was living out in Ventura County and just commuting.
Oh.
But I opted to come back because it's a better place to raise my family, and then I started getting involved with JCI. And although I haven't operated a museum before, my passion for education and community engagement led me to explore ideas of creating a space where children could learn through hands-on experience, and thus the concept of the LEAP Children's Museum was born. The experience really has just come from the work I've done with JCI and creating local projects has led me to feel like I could run a team to accomplish this mission.
Fantastic. So talk to me about that idea. Is this just something that you and your friends were kicking around at the office one day? Where did the idea for the LEAP Museum come from?
Yeah, no, not quite. Although it did turn into that. So the idea from LEAP started with a few things collaborating together. I had a taste for creating projects, like I mentioned, from JCI, and then I got to hear Mayor Gibbs speak about the vision of the city becoming a destination, and pairing that with a visit to a large children's museum in Mississippi with my children, I realized, how do we not have this? We have 38 parks. We spend millions of dollars on young educational programming and young family programming, and how could we not already have this children's museum? So I brought the idea back to JCI and to people that I respected in the community, and all of them agreed, how do they not have this? How is this not here? So I took that and I started going to the city council, and Mayor Gibbs was very impactful for giving us a very clear vision of how we move forward. So that's pretty much where the idea came from and how it started getting its roots. And then we created a board of very enthusiastic people that are dedicating lots of time to make this a reality.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've had the opportunity to meet with your board, and they are extremely dynamic. As a matter of fact, we had one of your board members here on Eye in the Valley back in the spring. So now you're still in the very early steps in the development of this museum. But from idea to reality, very few people even get this far. So what's the journey been like from the time you first cut this idea to now?
Yeah, I would agree with that. From the moment the idea sparked, it's been a whirlwind of planning and networking and researching. We've had to navigate some hurdles like securing exhibit builders for our pop-up event and gathering funding. But every challenge has really been an experience that has given us more idea and more input on how we can continue and move forward. The community's enthusiasm has really made it worthwhile. When we open those doors, as you know, because you got to be with us,
right.
When we open those doors to the event and you listen to all the parents saying, every single one of them, how do we not have this? How can we get it? How quickly? The support has been outstanding.
Yeah.
In our first event with minimal marketing, we were able to sell out both weekend events with over 1,700 visitors in total. So it's just been, now we are focusing on transitioning this excitement into funding and creating a permanent space.
Yeah, definitely, and that's going to be another huge step. And I know you're not taking that challenge lightly. And we'll get to that in just a minute. You did an incredible job garnering support. You mentioned with Councilman Gibbs, mayor at the time, and the support that he threw behind you, the guidance and mentorship. But can you highlight some of your other supporters? Who else have you gotten on board with you? Who else have you gotten to support this idea of bringing a children's museum to Santa Clarita?
Yeah, absolutely. You're totally right. It has been the support of the community. We have so many partners that have been jumping in to get involved with this. We've been fortunate enough to have incredible support from partners like iLead. I mean, you guys have been pivotal for us, from your volunteering, your brainstorming, to the financial and promotional support. Valencia Town Center has been instrumental in giving us a space to be able to hold that event, and for no cost at all, because they believed in it so much. JCI has been a force in bringing us volunteers, but also really, I mean, JCI was how I came to this idea, feeling that I'm empowered to create these projects. Also, Himax Building and Blaha Concrete were patient and kind to provide us with lumber, labor, and finances to move the project to the next level. And it really put us on the map to have the big structures that you saw in the event.
Yeah.
They created that. And they don't typically work local, but they came and they did that because they believe in the project. We've also had a lot of backing from city officials. You know, the entire city council gave us their support. And then people like Patsy Ayala has been very supportive of the mission and creative with her ideas. And Tim Burkhart has been kind enough to dedicate his time to even planning out those bigger exhibits. He led the construction team to creating those bigger exhibits in the pop-up. And then we've had KHTS, Video Bump, and SCVi TV push out the word about LEAP and really expanded our voice. Our board members have brought invaluable energy to the table, and their commitment to the vision has really been the driving force behind our progress. But even like What's Up SCV and the Santa Clarita groups like Toddler Club, SCV Mom Connection, homeschool groups, these are like groups that are on Facebook and have their own blogs. They've been incredibly efficient at spreading the word in the community, and we absolutely could not have made this happen without the massive support that we've had from all of these partners.
Wow, gosh, your list of partners and supporters is,
yeah.
It's a veritable who's who of Santa Clarita, and that just speaks volumes to the idea that you've brought to life, the vision that you've created. Carrie, you and I had several conversations as we talked about the museum in detail before the event, and you alluded to it. You brought a construction theme to the idea of a children's museum. Even though you and I had these conversations ahead of time, I was still surprised on the incredible job that you and your team did the day that I walked in. Can you share a little bit of detail with the listeners, some of the stations that the museum's featured?
Thank you. I'm glad that you felt that way. We are really proud of the stations that we put together, especially in such a small amount of time. You know, we only had 2 months or so to plan this event and really get what we needed to make it happen. But each area was really designed to offer a hands-on learning experience that was grounded in educational points of view or principles. In our architectural arena, we had children exploring the art of like design and engineering, and that was by interacting with real blueprints from Shark Design, who had donated those to us and has been a pivotal partner as well. And they also were able to build little houses with craft sticks and Lincoln logs. In our plumbing section, kids were engaged with basic physics and problem solving as they created potential waterways using real ABS pipe from Kenco Plumbing, which introduced concepts to them like flow in an engaging way. And then our construction zone focused on encouraging creativity and teamwork, where children used like foam bricks, wood, fake power tools to build the structures. This station helped them to develop fine motor skills and basic understanding of like structure and the structural integrity. We also had a dig pit that encouraged physical activity and coordination as kids moved rubber mulch into the wheel barrels and toy trucks, which was to simulate a real construction work site. And then we also had featured a reading nook where they had construction-themed books to promote literacy and encourage a quiet zone for children that preferred like lower sensitivity or lower sensory activity. Then we had a coloring area where kids were invited to design their dream homes, which inspired imagination and artistic expression. We even shared a few of these designs on our social media to showcase the creativity of our young architects. And our goal was to blend education with play, creating experiences that were both really engaging and fun, but also enriching.
Blending education with play is it's that really speaks to my heart, and I want to talk to you about that when we get back. We do need to take a quick break. I'm talking this morning with Carrie McCoy, president of Leap Children's Museum in Santa Clarita. When we get back, you'll hear how the museum was received and what you can do to help make this a permanent installation in our community. I'm Matt Watson, and this is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. You're listening to your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Matt Watson, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. I'm joined this morning by Carrie McCoy. She is president of Leap Children's Museum in Santa Clarita. Before the break, we were talking about how she and her team started this museum this summer with such tremendous foresight and intentionality by beginning with a pop-up event. So Carrie, we were talking about the museum and how you set up these different stations and the different areas that you had where you blended the idea of education through play. But this wasn't just an opportunity for families to come in out of the heat because, oh my goodness, was it hot those 2 weekends. It wasn't just an opportunity to escape the heat. These exhibits were very intentional. Why is this kind of place so important for our community?
Yeah, exactly. While it was fun and a great way for families to spend time together, especially out of the heat, each exhibit really was designed with intentional learning objectives in mind. We know that hands-on experiences are incredibly effective in helping kids grasp concepts in a way that's both meaningful and lasting. That's why places like Leap are so important. They provide an environment where learning feels like play, which is essential for young children's development.
That is the reason that iLead was so excited to partner with Leap, because that really dovetails perfectly into our philosophy of experiential-based learning. We use a model called project-based learning where kids are working on real projects and the learning almost becomes incidental, and it just makes the partnership between Leap and iLead just the perfect partnership.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. iLead's approach to education aligns perfectly with what we're doing with Leap. When children are engaged in these hands-on or project-based activities, they're more likely to retain what they're learning and apply it to real-world situations. We're really excited at the potential and future collaborations with iLead to create even more impactful learning experiences for kids in our community because we align so well.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell our listeners, I know because I was there, tell our listeners about how the pop-up children's museum was received by our community.
Yeah, as I mentioned, the response was overwhelmingly positive. Mm-hmm. We sold out our tickets so quickly that it led us to extend the event to accommodate more families because we had a lot of pleas from families for the first week that they weren't able to make it. So, seeing the joy on the kids' faces and hearing the feedback from the parents was incredibly affirming. It's clear that there's a strong demand for a permanent children's museum in Santa Clarita, and I just wish I had videotaped every single person that walked through our doors saying how necessary it was to have this space permanently in the community now. It was also no surprise that we had visitors from the surrounding counties.
Yes.
We had many visitors from Lancaster, Antelope Valley. Others came from Monrovia, as you know, Fillmore, Frazier Park, Bakersfield, San Fernando Valley, and, of course, every region in Santa Clarita.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really does perfectly fulfill kind of that call that Jason Gibbs put out to you of helping make Santa Clarita a destination city for the surrounding areas. That is fantastic. And I know it's always exciting as a teacher when you see it. We had a lot of little kids in there, but pretty much the only crying we heard was when it was, okay, guys, time to wrap up. We got to go. And that's when the kids started crying. That was great. So, Carrie, you've touched on it a little bit already, but I want to give you a chance to sort of state your thesis, state your case for a permanent children's museum in Santa Clarita. From your perspective, why is that something that's so important for our community?
Sure, let me give it my best pitch. Yeah.
All right.
um, a permanent children's museum would be an invaluable asset to Santa Clarita, not just for our community, but for the broader region as well. It would provide a dedicated space where children can explore, learn, and grow year-round, and enriching their educational experiences along the way. Beyond the immediate benefits for local community or local families, a museum like LEAP would also boost our local economy by attracting visitors from outside our community, establishing Santa Clarita as a destination, like you mentioned.
Right.
And this influx of visitors could really support our local businesses, create jobs, increase tourism revenue, and this would further our enhancement of the city's growth. Additionally, LEAP could really be a key partner for different schools, homeschooling communities, city events, local nonprofits. So beyond all of the educational experiences that we mentioned and the benefit to our children, there's so much more that Children's Museum can bring to Santa Clarita. So it's not just for people that have young children here.
Right.
It's for people that have businesses or are involved in schools.
Absolutely. And you talked about schools. Our teachers in Santa Clarita have known the value of a quality children's museum for years. Carrie, I'm gonna date myself a little bit, but I remember going to the LA Children's Museum when I was in elementary school back in 1982. And I remember getting on a bus and riding for what seemed like forever to get to the Children's Museum. And we had an amazing time. We learned a lot, and then we bussed all the way back home, and teachers and schools have been sending their kids downtown to the Children's Museum for years, but we need one here in our town, right? So
yes.
Now, Carrie, the need is definitely there, but it's not going to be easy, right? It's going to be definitely a challenge. What are some of the challenges that you foresee? What do you anticipate as you continue moving towards establishing a permanent museum?
Yeah, absolutely. And, if I can comment on what you were just saying quickly.
Sure.
In this journey of talking to different organizations, I learned that the city had actually at the command of Councilmember West, that they had commissioned to build a children's museum 20 years ago. But, at that time, we didn't have the families that we do now, but she had the foresight to see it coming. She saw the need long before, but because we didn't have the structure that we do now, it didn't make sense then, whereas now they're all about it because they saw it coming. They saw the growth that we would have. But you're right, there are a lot of challenges, and one of the biggest challenges we'll have is securing funding and finding a suitable location. I think that there's a lot of vacant locations and there's a lot of new buildings coming, but really the biggest thing is funding. Building a museum requires a significant financial investment, and we'll need an ongoing community support to make that happen. Additionally, we really need to navigate logistical aspects such as like zoning, permits, construction, but we're confident that with the community's backing, we really can overcome these kinds of challenges.
Yeah, but it is going to require a lot of support because it won't be cheap, and it's not going to be a one-time investment. It's going to need to be something that's ongoing. So our community is really going to have to throw their weight behind this. We talked in the first break about the tremendous support that you were able to garner, but it's got to be an ongoing thing. We'll talk in just a minute about what our listeners can do to help make sure that our city and others in town, as well as individuals, are supporting the museum. But do you see a collaboration continuing with iLead? How can iLead support you? How can we maybe continue to collaborate with you as you move forward toward the permanent location?
Yeah, absolutely, I do. I mean, I see iLead Schools as a key partner in the future of our museum. Your project-based learning philosophy really aligns with us perfectly, as I mentioned. Together, we really can develop programs and exhibits that extend classroom learning into the museum, making the experience even more relevant and impactful for students. So if you guys can be using our facility, then wonderful, to accommodate some of the project-based learning that you're doing. Beyond the educational collaboration, iLead's financial and promotional support is really crucial as we move forward. You have the capacity to spread the word about the museum, reaching a broader audience like you are now, and really helping bring our vision to life. With your help, we can really also organize like a fundraiser to secure much needed capital. That's possible partnership. the partnership has the potential to significantly enhance both the educational impact and the sustainability of our museum, really.
Yeah, that would be great. And I've already talked to our leadership team, and we are all in. We would love to continue to support LEAP as it gets going and continue to collaborate and partner with you for a long, long time. Now,
It's great to hear.
so what about the rest of the community? We mentioned it. What can a business owner do? What can an individual do? How can they get involved in advocating for a permanent location to this museum?
Yes, thankfully a lot of people asked us that when we were at the pop-up. People said, "How can I make this happen next weekend? How can I help this?"
Right.
So what I would say is, to be as frank as I can, I would really encourage everyone to get involved if you're interested in seeing this happen in the city, whether it's through volunteering, attending our events, gifting us funds, or spreading the word about the importance of having a children's museum in our community. This project is a benefit, not just our children, but future generations as well. And your support is really crucial in making that dream happen.
Okay, so they can email council people. Is there any way that people can donate so that they, throw their financial backing behind the museum?
Yes, absolutely. And they can donate on our website.
What is that website?
At leapmuseum.org.
Leap, well, that's easy. Leap, L-E-A-P, museum.org. People can donate. I know you've got a newsletter where people can sign up and kind of follow, and so that they're at the different events and supporting you all along. Is that correct?
Yes, there are many ways that the community can really support us in getting this involved. So, like I mentioned, if you're donating or volunteering your time at our events or joining one of our planning committees, there are links on our website to volunteer, or there's links to donate. And you can also always email us or call us. We're always also seeking local businesses and organizations to partner with. So if you know, an owner of a business that you can help get connected with us, or in particular, we really need the expertise of people like playground creators, museum exhibit designers, and educational programmers who have experience working in a children's museum. We are happy to take any advice that others are interested in giving to us. Business leaders who can really help us navigating budgeting and financial planning are also really crucial, or advocacy is another key area. Anyone willing to share our mission with friends, family, local leaders, like you mentioned, writing to the city council, or like Centennial, who owns, the mall and is trying to build the new vision for the mall.
Yeah.
But to be frank, if you're the kind of person that thinks, wow, I can't believe we don't have a children's museum in Santa Clarita yet, or this is a no-brainer, go on our website, donate 20, 50, or whatever you can, because that is how we're going to make this happen, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like you said, this is something that we should have had decades ago. We still don't have it, but Carrie, I know that you and your team are dedicated to making this happen, and you're not going to stop. And we need the community to get behind you. So, all right. So this summer you had the pop-up. We're looking toward a permanent location, and I know you're going to be working hard. You're going to be working with the folks from the mall to hopefully get them to help you get a space there, and as well as the city council. But for you and your team, what are the next steps, Carrie? What have you guys got coming up next?
So the next step is that we have been approached by a couple of nonprofits to partner with them, like Michael Hoffman at a charity event. So we're trying to work through the logistics of how we can do that. We also have a World of Play Day that we're going to be kind of low-key promoting, because we're not going to do a full-on pop-up event.
All right.
So that's kind of a secret for your listeners.
Yeah,
and anybody who follows us on Instagram or on our socials will know. And then we're going to be doing a fundraiser that is all too different from what we've had. So I know that this city has incredible events like Taste of the Town and Fine to Wine, but we're going to challenge those by creating our own new event every April Fool's Day, where we bring an adult children's museum kind of thing to the fundraiser. So we want to have like a science exhibit, or we want to have like a scientist come in and do really fun and engaging experiments, and have like an illusionist come in. And we have all kinds of things planned that I won't spoil right now, but we really want to challenge what we know of these events, these like stuffy black tie events. Yeah, and then lastly, we have another pop-up planned in next July. We'll do a health and wellness themed pop-up.
Oh, wow. That'll be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, gosh. Carrie, you are going to regret telling me and my brother who's listening about this adult children's museum idea. We're going to wreck the place. That is going to be so much fun. You said
Yeah.
every April Fool's. You've got a lot coming up. Again, folks can keep in touch with you at leapmuseum.org. You've got a beautiful website here. Follow Leap Children's Museum on social media. Get signed up for their newsletter, and you can help advocate for them. You can donate a couple of bucks toward the cause, and everything will help. Carrie, before I let you go, is there anything else that you want to share with the community? Anything that that folks need to know that you haven't already shared?
Yes, I really just want to thank everyone for the incredible support we've received so far. This project is a labor of love, and it's really heartening to see how many people and organizations believe in the vision of LEAP, and we are really excited about the future. Can't wait to see what we can accomplish together with all of you.
Absolutely. And Carrie, like I said, our organization, iLead Schools, we really are excited about the partnership that we formed with Leap Museum, and we want to continue that partnership. So as you've got these different events coming up, or even if you don't have an event coming up, but you see that that you need another injection of support, please give us a call. Let us know. We'll have you on the air. We'll figure out something that we can do together, because we want to be a huge part of making sure that Leap Children's Museum becomes a permanent installation in our community. It really is necessary.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate you, Matt and Sarah, coming and supporting us and being there in the trenches with us all of those days. But thank you for all of this, and I can't wait to see really what we can build together.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for joining us this morning. You and your team are off to a great start. I'm so excited to watch Leap Children's Museum grow as we go. We'll be in touch real soon. Carrie, you have a great weekend. And remember, one more time, that website is leapmuseum.org, L-E-A-P, museum.org. Follow them on social media. Let's get behind this idea. This is something our community really needs. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back after this. I am Matt Watson. You're listening to SCVi and iLead Schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead Schools Eye on the Valley. We just wrapped up with Carrie McCoy from Leap Children's Museum, and I can't imagine anybody listening not being excited about a project like that. Carrie approached us a couple months back and said, hey, is this something that iLead would like to partner with us on? And, I mean, it was funny. Producer Sarah was on the call with me, and we were both sort of looking at each other, trying not to look too excited. Yeah. But it was like, this really is the perfect match. And even if it wasn't, again, it's 2024. We've got close to 350,000 people living in this area. How do we not have a children's museum?
Yeah. Well, like you said, you had to travel afar to go to it when you were younger. And there's certain things around the area that are great for kids, but this would be really nice. And I was thinking, so I grew up in St. Louis,
right,
and there's a very well-known children's museum there as well. And they've been around since, I think, the late 70s. So they've got a lot of traction under them, but it's such a nice space for kids of all ages, by the way. We're talking little guys, 2 and 3 years old, up to, too cool for school teenagers. So,
right.
That'd be great if we had something like that to build on and to offer for these kids.
Definitely. And like I said, it's more than just an indoor playground. Although it's funny, most of the kids just saw it as that, right? There's,
sure.
These 8 different stations that we can go play at. But you could see their brains just firing on all cylinders as they're looking at the tools, and it's what we call in education play provocations, right? We weren't telling them, here, this is what you do, take this and put it here, then do this and do that. The kids just they saw the potential, and they created what they wanted. It's funny. Carrie was talking about the reading station that they had, and they had these cutest little things in the world. They have these full leather lazy boy chairs, 2 of them, but for little bodies. Aww. They were these teeny tiny little lazy boy chairs, but they were real leather, and they had a couple of futon type couches and books, and it just looked so relaxing and so inviting. And there were a couple of times, both weekends, where there were some kids that walked over, and looked at that furniture and saw a fort. And they spun the lazy boys around. They flipped up those futons, and they were building this great big castle and things like that. It was so exciting to see their brains be activated.
Well, and I think adults, at least I do, kind of take it for granted. I have 2 kids. Mine are 15 and 12, so we've already done the little tight kind of growing up thing.
Yeah.
But I think you kind of take it for granted. Like what you guys do at iLead and what they're doing at Leap Children's Museum, having these kids learn, like hands-on learning.
Right.
You can't just put a book in front of them and say, okay, learn how to do this.
Sure.
And so we take it for granted, I think, because we already know how to do all the things, right? Like you said, the kids turn the chairs around to make a fort. I would not have thought of that.
Right.
So they're learning at a different pace than we are, and we take that for granted. We need to give them those opportunities.
Well, and this is how creativity and problem solving are learned. And when you step into these large Fortune 500 companies and, well, even smaller companies as you go up the ladder, those are the things that executives value is creativity and problem solving, because we're stepping into unknown times. And if people only know how to do what they've been shown how to do, then your ceiling's going to be pretty low. You're going to top out, right? And so this is where kids learn that type of collaboration and, it sounds so cliche to say thinking outside the box. But like I said, looking at a lazy boy chair and a futon and seeing a castle, not a place to sit and read, right? It is that simple. And then, we obviously take it a step up once we get into the older ages with project-based learning at iLead, where it's, okay, this is your task. How are you going to accomplish it, right? And it's a similar kind of thing. And I'll just give you an example, and it's always my favorite example. I was given the task as a fifth grade teacher to teach kids about the different body systems. And the state of California says that I need to teach the kids how these different systems work together to keep us healthy. Okay, cool. My traditional brain says, okay, that's worksheets and diagrams and maybe reconstruction. But I thought, no, how do our kids, you can't really get hands-on learning with that, right? We're not going to take them into the morgue. And well, instead what I did is every year I would bring in a parent volunteer and say, all right, you're going to pretend to be sick. This is what you're sick with, but don't tell the kids.
Right.
You're going to come in and start, pretending to cough up blood. And I would start out the project with the kids graduating from medical school. I know you're only in fifth grade, but you're now the doctor. Here's your patient. You've got 3 weeks to diagnose her. And that's where they would start from. And now you can see how, okay, well, what's wrong with her? What are her symptoms? Okay, now I have to research this. And like I said, it's almost incidental. The kids think it's accidental.
Right.
That they learn about, the circulatory system. It's almost like a machine that pumps your blood around the body, and that's how you stay healthy. And so there might be something wrong with her blood, or maybe it's her digestion. And so they start learning about the digestive system, not because they want to, but because they're taking on the task of diagnosing this patient.
Right.
So that's like that next step up from that educational play. And
and like you said,
fun.
the kids think it's accidental, but it's really intentional on the adults who are guiding these, students and kids. And so it's kind of nice to see when you lay that path out as the facilitator, as the parent, or neighbor, whatever. You're kind of laying that path out for them, and then I would think it would be really fun to see them kind of figure it out on their own, and
really
quote unquote
exciting.
Accidentally come across like, oh hey, I just figured this out.
It is really exciting, and sometimes kids take it in a different direction, and you have to redirect them, or sometimes they take it in a different direction that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you said the word, that you hit on exactly why we don't call our educators teachers. We call them facilitators, because they provoke the learning rather than dictate it.
Right. So
much fun, so exciting. Speaking of fun and excitement, I think we're in the last couple of days. Jen,
we are.
Have you caught Olympic fever like I have?
I have not. My temperature is not too high, but
Okay.
I've kind of obviously seen the major headlines.
Sure.
All of our gold medalists. I think we have 30 golds. I checked this morning. I believe it's 30.
You're right.
Okay. I believe we're behind China by a couple. So.
You are up to date. So I'm looking at the current, and in fact, let me refresh my page right now. I'm looking at the current medal race. And you are spot on. It just updated as I refreshed my page. The United States has 30 golds. China has 32.
32. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we are way ahead in the total medal race with 103. China in second place with 77. Host country France with 55. I've been a little stressed out over the last week or so, Jen, as we've trailed in the gold. Right?
Yeah.
You know, we're America.
We're competitive.
We're a little competitive, and we like to hear our national anthem played, right?
Yeah.
And so I not only want to win the total medal race, but I want to win the gold race. We've got a few opportunities coming up. You know, our men's and women's basketball team are doing really well. I think women's soccer has advanced and is still moving forward. Like you said, our ladies dominated
they're amazing.
the gymnastics.
But you know what's funny, Matt? So admittedly, I have not caught the Olympic fever. However, watching, you can't avoid the headlines, of course, and you see all these, specifically the gymnasts. It's funny because it kind of brings, at least me, back to the 80s and 90s when I was a kid, teenager, kind of growing up and watching. I had forgotten all about Dominique Dawes.
Yes.
Mary Lou Retton. I mean, they were, I don't even know if Icon really covers, you know, what specifically those two women were able to do. So it's kind of fun. It's like you love watching Simone Biles, and then you take a moment to appreciate the women and girls who came before her, you know. So it's kind of nice to kind of revisit that.
Those kind of trailblazers, and remember those stories because you know, they just, like you said, spark those memories, and it's like handing, you know, the Olympic torch
literally
off to that
handing
next
it off,
generation. Speaking of Olympic torch, I think all of us were just absolutely flabbergasted. You know, the iconic moment of Muhammad Ali with the Olympic torch. That's a no-brainer. Whose idea was it to give Snoop Dogg
I don't know.
the Snoop D-O-double-G,
I
the
don't
Olympic
know.
torch? And
I mean, they're trying different things. I appreciate thinking outside the box.
oh, I think it's great. I think it's
funny.
bringing new eyes to the Olympics.
Oh, it certainly is,
And we as a nation have truly adopted Snoop Dogg as our mascot, as our national mascot.
Yeah.
He's wearing the equestrian uniform, full helmet and goggles.
He's hilarious. I like him because he doesn't take himself too seriously. He's not up there trying to act like he's better than everybody and that, you know, I should be, you know, revered. He's just kind of a goof, and he's fun, and
he's fun. He's passionate, right?
Yeah.
He's all in for Team USA.
Yeah.
He's willing to admit on camera, I don't understand this sport, but look how fun it is, right? And it is so exciting. And yeah, I love seeing him have so much fun with it. I love seeing all of our teams just have such incredible fun. I heard, and I didn't hear confirmation, I heard a rumor, you talked about Simone Biles, that it was rumored on social media that she might be pregnant.
Oh.
And so I was wondering, if you're pregnant, when you win an Olympic gold, what does your baby get, like bronze or something?
I don't know. I think the baby should get like a little tiny
gold
baby size.
little gold nugget. I love it. And then how exciting that in 4 years, the Olympics are coming here.
That's incredible.
Not to the United States, to LA.
I know. Can you imagine the prep around that? You know, like obviously it's already begun.
It
We're
has
trying to, you know, I get nervous when I have a couple people coming over for pizza and beer. It's like,
but
vacuum and clean the bathroom and
right. All right, kids, clean your room. The world is coming over.
The world is watching.
Yeah,
yes.
and I'm sure there's going to be people that are frustrated because there's going to be traffic and there's going to be too many lines and all these different visitors. But it'll be good for our economy
amazing.
and just an exciting way to show off our city. We've got
incredible.
a world-class city and it is really exciting. Well, we've got just another day or two, and we'll see what happened. The men's basketball team had a bit of a scare yesterday.
Yeah.
They almost lost in the semifinal round to Serbia, but they pulled it out in the end. And so we'll see how it goes. Let's keep watching, keep rooting on the team. Hopefully, we can surpass China with the gold medal count. Alrighty, we do have to get out, but when we get back, we're going to check in with Samantha Diem. She's doing some incredible things that you're going to want to get behind. You are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. I am Matt Watson. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. So we were chit-chatting about the Olympics a little bit earlier, and I think this is the last weekend, and we've got closing ceremonies coming up. But what else have you got going on this weekend? I'll tell you about an event that's happening tonight that you're not going to want to miss. Well, first of all, I'll be there, so you're going to want to come and see me, right? But have you been to the city's Celebrate events? This is something that the city put together. This is kind of their newest endeavor. We all know about Senses. Senses was down here on Main Street last night. Really cool event. But Celebrate is an event for the entire family. It's been... I've been to quite a few of these, and they're an absolutely amazing event. These are events that take place at the Canyon Country Community Center, and I love that we've already nicknamed it C4, right? Canyon Country Community Center.
Much
and
easier.
At the end of summer and beginning of fall, they hold on Friday nights these events called Celebrate. Each event focuses on celebrating a different country or culture, and tonight's event celebrates Japan. So that we're going to have all things Japanese there. It's going to be really exciting. There's going to be chalk artists, sumo wrestlers, of course, right? How awesome is that? Taiko drummers. There's going to be treats for kids. They always bring in thematic, kind of culturally relevant food trucks. So I'm excited about a Japanese food truck. I remember when we were celebrating Ecuador, we had a hard time finding an Ecuadorian food truck.
Yeah.
But there's going to be lots of free craft activities for the kids, and I said it's a family event, and they've got stuff for the whole family, not just the littles. Adults, if you enjoy a beverage, I think the Santa Clarita Sister Cities, they always host a cash bar of culturally relevant beverages. So I know that that the team at Sister Cities has been out there researching Japanese cocktails, and they always like to offer those things at these kinds of events as well. It's just so much fun. Like I said, takes place at the Canyon Country Community Center sort of as the sun goes down. So, you say, oh, outside in this heat. Well, no, it's starting to cool off.
Yeah.
They get a breeze out there. It is absolutely beautiful. Like I said, perfect for the whole family. Take your neighbors, head on out there. And tonight, it's also being also featured in tonight's Celebrate Japan event is my next guest, Samantha Diem. Samantha will be featured at the event as she completes her Girl Scout Gold project, and she's joining me now. Sam, welcome to Eye on the Valley.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
Good to have you back. I think you've been here on our show a few times, haven't you?
I have,
yeah. Were you counting on your way in how many times this has been?
Ooh, I don't know. I know I've been for school at least once before. I don't know. This might be 2 or 3 for me.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and you do a lot of cool stuff, and got you back to hear about the next cool thing that you're doing. So you're still in high school, but you and I have known each other for a long time
Yes.
already. For our listeners, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a senior this year, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay, and how long have you been attending iLead Agua Dulce?
I've been at iLead Agua Dulce since 6th grade, but I've been with iLead for my entire education. I started out at SCVi from kindergarten. I stayed there till 5th grade. So that's like 12 years now.
Okay, so
No.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
tired,
if you started,
sorry.
It's been 12 years. You're
Yes,
heading into your 13th
that's
year.
what I meant.
Yeah, and I love that you started with us at the beginning. You started
Yeah.
at SCVi at kindergarten, made the shift over to iLead Agua Dulce. That was their first year, wasn't it?
It was, yes. We drove 30 minutes every day to SCVi, so
Yeah, okay.
10 minutes to Agua Dulce was a lot closer.
See, I tell people about that on the radio all the
Mm-hmm.
time, that iLead Agua Dulce really is right here in our backyard.
It really is.
Yeah, so you guys, I'm assuming you live in Canyon Country?
Yeah, we're in Canyon Country.
So it's just a pop up the hill, and
It is.
And yeah, you're going against traffic, and it's great.
It is.
So you were at iLead Agua Dulce the very first year they started.
Mm-hmm.
So there are kids in school that wait for years to be the big kid on campus.
Yeah.
You've been the big kid on campus for 6-7 years now.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
It is pretty cool, especially when they do the buddy program, and so we get to help out and like read with the little kids, and it's just so fun they're always so happy to see us.
Yeah, there is certain beauty to having what I call a comprehensive campus.
Yeah.
Where it is TK through 12th grade. We've got 4-year-olds, and pretty soon there'll be 18-year-olds on campus
Yes.
together. And the high school, you've got your own little space kind of off down on the lower campus.
Yes, we've got all these buildings up at the top campus, and we've got one little bungalow down there, and that's us.
It is a smaller high school program, but it's growing. It's doubling in size this year.
It's going to get much bigger this year, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited about the high school program growing, and you are the first graduating class.
I am. Yeah, they added a year every year, so I've always been one of the oldest kids on campus.
Right. It was kindergarten through 6th grade when you started there.
Yes.
And then the following year it was kindergarten through 7th grade, right? And you have literally grown up with the school. That is exciting.
It is.
So heading into your senior year, before we went on the air, you and I were chatting about it a little bit. What are you looking forward to during this senior year?
I'm looking forward to, I have a very cool opportunity to actually teach a visual arts class with a couple of my classmates to the younger high schoolers.
Get out.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for that. I believe it's like an internship, but we're going to teach the class. With that, I've got a couple of cool classes I'm excited for, and I'm just excited to have fun with my friends and whatever.
And then you get to be part of that group that determines what prom is going to look like, what graduation is going to look like.
We have some unconventional ideas about what prom is going to look like.
All right. Fantastic. I love it, and I can't wait to see it. And, and what's fun is I get to bring my camera and come out and take pictures and pretend that I'm working while I get to hang out with you guys.
We would love for you to come hang out with us.
Pretend I'm young again. Yeah, absolutely. So before I want to talk about this amazing project that you've been working on, but let's talk a little bit about the future. It's senior year, and I know every old person like me asks you, okay, do you have plans for after high school yet?
Kind of.
Okay.
I definitely want to go into college. I'm not sure. I'm kind of balancing back and forth between like an art school or a somewhere where I can do arts and something like physics, because I really like physics.
All right.
So I'm not quite sure yet.
All right. But I like the idea of arts and physics, and there's certainly a beautiful marriage between those two to be had. Have you been out to JPL?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, that's obviously they're sending stuff to the moon, to Mars, to Jupiter. But it's some of the most beautiful works of art that I've seen are like the Mars rover and things like that. So,
yeah, they all look so cool.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's get into this, Samantha. You're partnering with the city of Santa Clarita tonight on this event called Celebrate Japan, and I want to talk about it. But first, let's talk about why you're partnering on this project. One of the reasons is you're earning your Girl Scout Gold Award, right? Can you explain this to listeners who might not know what that is?
Yeah, so a Girl Scout Gold Award is the highest award that a Girl Scout can achieve within Girl Scouts.
Okay.
It's sort of like a phased thing as you go through Girl Scouts. So when you're a junior Girl Scout in like 4th, 5th grade, you earn a Bronze Award, which is a project with your whole troop. You spend about 30 hours on it. It's a project for your community, and all these projects need to have a sustainability aspect. So I believe for mine, I helped build like sustainable furniture for SCVi or something like that.
Very cool, and thank you.
And then you go into your Silver Award in middle school, which is about 50 hours. It's a small team project, so I did mine with my sister at iLead Agua Dulce, and we set up the Color Guard program, so we run the flag ceremonies, and we raise and lower the flag every day. We train other kids to do that. And then for your Gold Award, it's in high school. About 5.5% of all registered high school Girl Scouts earn this award.
Okay.
So it's quite a small number, but we're working to get it up. And so it's a minimum of 80 hours, and you do a big project all by yourself. You lead the project. And you've got a community mentor, so mine is Mike Frank from the events at City of Santa Clarita.
All right.
And yeah, you do a big project. And
okay. So we talked about it in the like your post-high school plans. You've got a lot of different interests, and you only mentioned 2 of them. I know your interests are very diverse. So why did you choose Celebrate Japan as your Gold Award over other interests maybe?
Yeah, a Gold Award is supposed to help make things better in some way.
I see.
And I had already been sort of involved in the Celebrate series before, just doing like chalk art and helping out a little bit. And I thought with summer coming up, that's also when Natsumatsuri is, the summer festivals in Japan, and we usually go to those in Little Tokyo, and that was just my childhood, was going and like getting all the little candies and playing the games and walking around the museums, making crafts. And I just wanted to bring that feeling to SCV, like if I don't know, to help build that community, like for people who can't go all the way to Little Tokyo in LA, or people who don't know anything about Japanese culture. I thought it would just be really cool if I was able to share that with someone.
Yeah, my first guest this morning is bringing a children's museum that doesn't have to drive all the way to LA to go to a children's museum, but
really
people
cool.
from outside our community would come. You're doing the same thing,
Yeah.
so that our community doesn't have to leave to go experience these wonderful cultural events, but others might come from outside of the community, or not, just our community can enjoy the Japanese culture and some fun and excitement. So how long have you been working toward this? How long's it been?
We just, because I have to tally up my hours because of the minimum of 80. So we just looked at it last night, and my first meeting with Mr. Mike and Miss Casey at the city was about this time last year. So it's been about a year of working on this. Wow. I think I'm up to, as of last night, about 184 hours on this.
Okay. So well beyond the 80-hour requirement.
There is no maximum. There's only a minimum.
Right. So you're not presenting a specific thing. You have helped coordinate this event. This event itself, this huge community event to celebrate the Japanese culture is your Gold Award project.
Yeah, my Gold Award project in total has been to work with the city to bring like my culture and experiences of my childhood to the Santa Clarita community. And we've also, one of the big things we did for that is creating, they're called tanabata. It's a big paper sculpture. It's got a ball on top and then a ring and streamers hanging from it.
Okay.
Ours are about 7.5 feet tall. That's about average.
Whoa.
And so it's the different parts celebrate the different aspects of the Natsumatsuri Festival. And so we made a total of 3 of those to display as well. One of them is actually right now at the JNM Museum, the Japanese American National Museum in Little Tokyo for their contest.
That is so cool. So tonight is kind of the culmination of those almost a couple hundred hours of work over the last year. It's funny as I think about it. This is, while this is a big thing and a new and exciting thing for you, it's sort of not new because through our project-based learning model at SCVi and at iLead Agua Dulce, you've been doing this for a long time. It's kind of like a presentation of learning, right?
Yeah, it really is. It's been similar in a lot of ways to a project-based learning project. I mean, it's just more of a like team leadership aspect. It's definitely got all this go out and research and then contact people in the field and figure out how to do it in your own way and then present it to everybody. It very much follows the model.
Yeah, and it's funny. One of the things that and I don't know if we've ever told you this, but one of the things that we work really intentionally to avoid is this notion that many adults have this horrible fear of speaking in public. Right,
Yeah.
That is one of the 2 biggest fears in adults. But our kids, they do it from the time they're in kindergarten.
Yeah.
They speak publicly. Is it something you feel comfortable with?
Absolutely, yeah. Project-based learning has always helped with that. Ever since I was little, just being able to be proud of talking about what I'm doing and just communicating that to other people. It's definitely helped me a lot. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't feel like something to be scared of for me.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that you're not nervous or scared going into tonight. But tonight kind of is a big deal, and it is, it's this thing that you put together, and you got to keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So it's 9:23 a.m. right now. About 12 hours from now, you're probably gonna sigh a huge sigh of relief, and then collapse. Are you going to celebrate after Celebrate is over?
I intend to, I think, go to sleep after this.
Well, school starts on Tuesday, so make sure that you're awake by then.
I will do my best, but no promises.
Absolutely. You got 3 days to kind of power down. Sam Diem is joining me. Samantha Diem is a senior at iLead Agua Dulce's high school. That's right. iLead Agua Dulce has a high school, and it's right here around the corner from Sam's house in Canyon Country. It is a free public charter school just north of Canyon Country that actually serves grades TK through 12. It's a beautiful, comprehensive campus. we won't get into the little beasties you have on campus.
Oh, yes.
No, I'm not talking about your fourth graders. I'm
No,
talking about the pigs and chickens and alpacas and cows. Yeah. We'll get into that on some other show. But check them out. Yeah. Check them out at iLeadAguadulce.org. But we're going to talk more with Samantha when we get back. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. You're listening to your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. Joining me this morning is senior at iLead Agua Dulce High School. Well, it's iLead Agua Dulce. As I mentioned, they are comprehensive. They have TK through 12th grade. Yes, all on the same campus. Beautiful campus. You're going to want to check them out at iLeadAguadulce.org. But I digress. iLead Agua Dulce senior Samantha Diem is joining me this morning, and she'll, well, my notes say that she'll be at the city's Celebrate Japan event tonight, but she will be running the Celebrate Japan event tonight. That's right. This is her Girl Scout Gold Award to plan, organize, and execute the Celebrate Japan event, a citywide event hosted at the Canyon Country Community Center, C4 for the cool kids, tonight. So, Sam, so tell us, what time is the event? How can people get out there?
Yeah, so the event is today from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay.
And I don't know what else I was going to say there. And
6 to 9 p.m. as the sun goes down.
Yes.
You know, it's always, I've worked quite a few of those events, and so it's a hot and sweaty thing to set up for. But by the time people start coming out, the breeze is coming in, the sun's going down. Typically, middle of the event, people stop and start taking pictures of the sunset.
Yeah, it gets very pretty.
It gets absolutely gorgeous. And so 6 to 9 p.m. tonight, again at the Canyon Country Community Center. But for you, it starts in about half an hour, doesn't it?
Yes, I believe after this I get to eat breakfast, and then I get to go help set up and do chalk art.
Yeah, because that chalk art takes more than 3 hours.
It takes many hours.
Yeah, you've been out there at the Celebrate events doing chalk art for a while, I think pretty much since they've started.
Yeah, I think at some point I sort of informally handed it off to one of my friends. But
All right. So this isn't something you've done by yourself. Like I said, you've collaborated with the city, but you've also involved the community in this project, right? Both at school and at the center, you held workshops. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so the Tanabata paper sculptures that I mentioned previously, each one was created with the help of a different community organization. Mm-hmm. So one of them was created with the help of iLead Agua Dulce families and students. And that one will be on display at the event tonight, and with it will be the one from the city of Santa Clarita.
Okay.
That was the workshop that I held at your C4.
Yeah.
With community, just partners and friends, and we all folded so much origami that day.
Okay.
And then the last one, the one that is currently hanging in the Japanese American National Museum for their Tanabata contest/display event, was made with the help of the SCV Girl Scouts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So you've involved the scout troop. You've involved quite a few people in this.
Yeah.
So you mentioned last break that this coincides with a festival in Japan. So can you say that again a little bit slower? What's the name of this festival?
So it's a group of festivals called Natsumatsuri, which is summer festivals. The one that is closest in date with today and the one that we're going to kind of be celebrating is the Tanabata Festival.
Okay.
It's also called the Star Festival, and it celebrates the Princess and the Cowherd story.
All right.
It's the one about, the princess and the cowherd
Sure.
fell in love, couldn't be together, and then they can meet once a year today on the Milky Way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's really beautiful. I'm Googling it now, and it's the Natsumatsuri festivals.
Yeah.
And Google, anyway, says that the festivals date back centuries and have their roots in the Shinto tradition and rituals.
Yeah.
It's believed that the festival originated as a way to appease the deities and pray for a bountiful harvest, as well as to ward off evil spirits and diseases.
Yes.
And so, as we move to our post-COVID, although, Noah Lyles, I understand, won bronze last night after a COVID diagnosis, so we could really use some of that warding off of diseases and things like that. All right. So you and I met when I was in the classroom. I was a classroom teacher for about
Yes.
17 years. And even though I'm out of the classroom now and working in administration, you can take the teacher out of the classroom, but you can't take the classroom out of the teacher, right? So I'm going to go into teacher mode. And I want to
Okay.
ask you some of those reflective questions
Yes,
that,
yes.
that we're supposed to ask you at those presentations of learning. So as you've worked through your Gold Award project, what obstacles have you faced during the development of Celebrate Japan?
Well, I got to learn how to send like business emails. So
Okay.
that was a little scary at first.
All right.
My mom had to like get me to send emails, but
Moms are great that way.
They are. That was an obstacle that I feel like I was able to successfully overcome. Emails are not scary anymore, so
good.
I've learned things. That being said, I have had some problems with trying to communicate things with people. It's just difficult kind of working in different teams, I've learned.
All right.
Also, like, of course, time management, that's always... I feel like no matter what you do, you can always time manage better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think those have been my most major obstacles.
Alrighty. So, if you were to look back a year, right? If you were
Yes.
able to do, you ever seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
I have not.
Oh, it's an old movie for oldie oldsters like me, but this is the Bill and Ted question for those of you that are familiar. You maybe check it out when you wake up later on in the
Okay.
weekend. If you were to be able to go back to talk to Samantha a year ago,
Yes.
a year ago today, if you were to start over, what might you do differently, or what might you advise going into junior year, Samantha, about this
Okay.
project?
Yeah, I actually have a good one for this, I think.
All right.
One of the things that we had talked about at that very first meeting with Mr. Mike was we are working on developing a sister city in Japan. I believe the
Yes.
city is Matsuro.
Yes.
Yes. And so there was a person I was supposed to reach out to in order to try and see if I could possibly coordinate some sort of exchange event with the city.
Right.
But I think it was a combination of I took a bit too long and they were never able to get back to me, and I think something got lost in communication. It just didn't work out, unfortunately, and so
Yeah.
I wish I had really been more on top of that. I think it would have been amazing if I could have had some sort of international exchange aspect and help build that community with the sister city even more.
Sure.
So I'm a little bummed about that, but I'm still happy with the way everything turned out.
Well, and what I love, like any project that you work on in school, the culmination doesn't have to be the end,
This is true.
right? So you could follow up on that. But yeah, I have learned that the hard way as well. I've worked
Yeah.
with student exchanges at SCVi and as well as iLead
Yeah.
Agua, Dulce, and worked with the sister cities for a few years. And those things take an extremely long time to
They
develop.
do. If,
Yeah.
if we had known, we could have tried to get in front of it, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, besides that, any new discoveries that you've made while working on your Gold Award?
Well, my mom and I got to make up how to make tanabata. It's such a cultural traditional practice. It's one of those things that there's no documentation of how to do it online.
Oh,
Until, of course, we had just finished all of them. This week, someone posted a video of how to make tanabata. We're like, oh no, we could have used that a year ago. But that was definitely an experience. I'm a little surprised, to be completely honest, that they turned out quite so well. But yeah, experience.
so you mentioned it last break.
Yes.
Tanabata are these, I'm looking at pictures of them now. They are these huge. Are they made of paper,
Yeah,
paper
yeah,
sculptures, with a spear on top and then a hoop? They almost look like these 7, 8, 10-foot jellyfish.
Yes, that's a great description.
But they represent the stars.
Yes, so each one has a different meaning. The top ball is called the kusama, and that's where
Okay.
your warding off sickness and evil spirits comes
There we
in.
go. Give it to me.
And then there's the ring, and then coming down from the ring is called the fukinagashi, or
Uh-huh.
the paper streamers. They symbolize the art of weaving, because the Tanabata festival that celebrates the princess and the cowherd, that princess was a weaver.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Very cool. All right. So, as if it wasn't obvious, tell us how your project Celebrate Japan helps the community.
Yeah, it's just meant to help bring the community together and hopefully just spread some cultural knowledge among people who might not have had the luxury of learning about different cultures yet. And I don't know, hope I can help make everybody happy and work together well.
I love it. So folks that are very familiar with the Japanese community are going to want to get out there and just immerse themselves in it and reminisce. Those that aren't are going to want to head out to see it and learn a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it's also for folks who just enjoy hanging out in the community and having a good time.
Yeah.
So let's reset the details one more time. Let's tell folks how and why people should attend tonight. One more time, what time is it?
It is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Canyon Country Community Center, or C4, as I'm just learning it's called.
Yeah. C4, Canyon Country Community Center, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Where can people get tickets? That's a trick question.
Yeah, it's free. Just come stop on by. It's drop in. No specific time you have to be there. You can be there the whole time or 2 minutes. It's up to you.
Okay, and I mentioned it at the beginning, but run down a list of some of the activities that we've got going on.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of craft activities. We've got some traditional Japanese festival games, just a couple of them. We've got taiko drummers, sumo wrestlers. We've got anime caricature people, I'm told.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's fun. What else we got? We've got a bunch of snacks and treats for kids, and yeah.
Very cool, very cool. So for those who aren't aware, what is taiko drumming?
Taiko drumming is a traditional, drumming performance practice. It's these big drums, and you hit them really hard with really big sticks, and the sticks are really thick so that they don't break because of how hard they hit them. It's a performance art.
I love it. Absolutely love it. That's Celebrate Japan.
Yes.
Tonight. Sam, you are an amazing young lady. We're so proud of you. So proud to call you one of iLead's own. I want to thank you for everything that over the last 12 years you've contributed to our school, to our network, to our community, and thank you for putting Celebrate Japan together tonight. So glad you could join us tonight. Good luck.
Thank you, Matt.
Hey,
So I wanted to ask Sam really quick.
Oh, yeah, Jen, jump in there.
She's obviously working her way towards the Gold Award. Is this a separate ceremony that you'll receive the award?
Yeah, it is. I think you receive the
And-
award
and
either
when?
way. I don't know when the ceremony is.
Okay.
But after I fill out my final report and get that all vetted, then
Okay.
I earn the award, and I did
Separate.
it.
That's wonderful. Yeah. I'm impressed with the fact that a 17, 18-year-old is able to coordinate all of these things. As an adult, it can get stressful trying to think, okay, did I cover this? Do I have that included? Did I remember to purchase that or whatever? So this is very impressive.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, so everybody's invited.
Yes.
Canyon Country Community Center, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's tonight, Friday, August. Is it August? We're in August already.
It is August.
We're almost middle of August. August 9th, 6
yes.
to 9 p.m. Canyon Country Community Center. Bring the kids, bring your neighbors. If you don't have kids or neighbors, come on out and join us. I will be there, and it's just going to be a great time. So thanks again, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
One more time, iLead Agua Dulce is a free public charter school just north of Canyon Country that actually serves grades TK through 12th grade. Check us out at iLeadAguadulce.org, iLeadAguadulce.org. And as a matter of fact, next week here at Eye on the Valley, you're going to meet iLead Agua Dulce's brand new school principal. We call her a director. Wendy Maxwell is going to be joining us next week, so we're excited about that. Sam, have you met Wendy yet?
I don't think I have yet. No.
She's amazing, so you'll
my
meet
mom's
her
met
next
her.
week.
I've heard great things.
All right, cool. All right, so Sam, go start your chalk art.
All right.
Enjoy your breakfast. Have a great time tonight. I will see you a little bit later on today.
Yeah, see you later.
The rest of you, stick around. You're in for a little bit of fun, a little bit of train wreck. My big brother's coming up next. So, stay tuned. This is SCVi and iLead Schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi and iLead Schools Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson, and just want to throw this out there. I think we're getting reports that Soledad Canyon Road, I'm not sure where, but Soledad Canyon Road has been shut down. Sounds like there's been a pretty wicked accident.
I believe a fatal accident.
Yeah.
We're trying to behind the scenes get on that, and it should be up on our website.
There we go.
HometowneStation.com.
So yeah, again, stay tuned to KHTS 98.1 FM or 1220 AM for further updates. But if you can go around Soledad Canyon this morning, then you're definitely going to want to. Or, you know what, just sit in the traffic and enjoy the show. Because right now, it is time for Big T's 5 Minutes of Fame. Y'all remember Big T. He took the summer off, but Big T is back. He's an executive and a philanthropist. He's an amazing father, husband, and dog dad. And, you know, I was thinking about it the other day. If Big T were a spice, he would be flour. So here he is, everybody. He's Mom's favorite. Big T, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thank you very much. Hey, congratulations on your promotion, Maddie. I didn't realize you were doing traffic now, too. Good job.
Yes.
There's no more money involved in it, though.
Right.
So
I offered to do the weather, but these windows don't open. Hey, you know, Big T, engineer Andrew was gonna play with us, but he just ran out of the studio. I think he got us scared.
You got us scared.
He got us
He
scared.
normally likes to play.
No, he does like to play, but he's working on that Soledad Canyon issue right now. He's making sure that all of our listeners and subscribers are updated. And did you know that you could sign up? And Jen, maybe you can help me with a little bit more details. Can folks sign up for, I guess we can get text alerts?
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably on the website.
And I should know that number off the top of my head. I apologize. I do
that's
not.
quite
But
all right.
Yes, go to hometownstation.com, and yeah, you can get alerts for traffic delays or anything that's going to, impede your movement.
And the amazing staff here at KHTS has their finger on the pulse of the community, so they'll. It's like having a best friend around town who knows everything that's going on.
All the deets.
And they're texting you, right? So stay away from Soledad Canyon right now.
We got text alerts that the earthquake was going to hit before the earthquake hit.
We did,
Except for Big T and Papa. Big T didn't get it because he was in Washington.
Right.
Papa didn't get it because he turned his phone off.
Right. Well, when you go to bed at 7:30, those kind of things happen. Did you feel the
He was
earthquake,
up.
Jen?
He was at the town hall.
Oh, that's right. He was at the town hall. He was.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah, I got notice. It said duck and cover, and I looked down and said, Frogger, don't duck and cover like you used to. So
He closes his eyes and prays.
right. So
Hopes for the best.
I texted back and said, nah, I'm gonna just ride this one out.
Not today.
Awesome. Well, if Andrew can hear us, he can jump in at any time. I got the questions geared right for him and Jen.
Oh, fantastic.
Nice.
Well, Jen's going to be joining us. Andrew's got his headphones right here when he can get back in. But you know what? He'll have to spot us a couple of points, hopefully, this morning, Jen. So I want to reset the rules because it's been a little while since we played, Tony. So you've got questions for us. Jen and I, and eventually Engineer Andrew, will hit our buzzers by calling our names. Jen goes by Jen. I go by Frogger, not sure why. But you've got trivia for us. But the folks at home, they've got a significant advantage. They don't have to hit their buzzer. They don't have to call out their name. They can just shout out the answer and see if they can beat us. But Jen and I are wicked smart. So
Mostly.
Yes, you are.
yeah, I don't
Let's not
think
get
they're going to be able
crazy,
to
Matt.
beat us. Well, I think we can take them, Jen.
right.
Let's see. Here we go, T. What do you got for us?
Perfect. So a little bit of fun. I mean, you talked earlier about the Olympics going on, and
Yep.
one of the stories at the Olympics is everybody's new sweetheart, Snoop Dogg. So a little bit of Snoop Dogg fun facts. As a child, he played piano and sang in a church choir, believe it or not. He became an overnight sensation with the release of his 1993 debut album, Doggy Style. He's the founder of the Snoop Football League. He's also, Matt, I don't know if you know this, he's a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
He is.
I did know
black
that.
And yellow,
Yep.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
My husband is from Pittsburgh, and so yeah, you kind of you figure that out along the way. He's
Yep.
a big fan.
Yep. He's been nominated for 17 Grammy Awards. You know how many he's won, Frogger?
not
Zero.
much.
Not much. He's been arrested at least 15 times for multiple counts. He's been banned from 3 countries. He's banned from the UK, Norway, and Australia. And ironically, he released a gospel album in 2018. He has 7 platinum albums, but his last platinum album was 20 years ago in 2004. He has rebranded himself, as we've seen in these Olympics. He's hosted 2 seasons of a cooking show with Martha Stewart called Martha and Snoop's Potluck Dinner. He's
Snoop
hosted
Doggy
2
Dog.
seasons
He's the gangster homemaker.
Right. He's hosted 2 seasons as a game show host of the relaunch of Joker's Wild.
Right.
Did you know he's in the Guinness Book of World Records?
Holy moly, longest braids.
No. Largest cocktail ever created. He He performed at the Super Bowl halftime show in 2022.
Well, hang on, let's back up to that largest cocktail ever.
Yeah, that's not what I would have thought. That he would have been maybe creating something else.
Jen, again, we're sponsored by SCVi and iLead
Not to drink,
schools,
but yes.
But yeah, so the answer to the question, how much gin and juice does he drink? All of it.
All of it.
All of it. Well, it was a creation. I think it was at Coachella back in 2018. It was him and Warren G and Dr. Dre.
Wow.
They created this huge cocktail at Coachella. So,
Love it.
Also, Matt, in 2023, he purchased a piece of the NHL Ottawa Senators. He was part of the ownership group. So he owns a hockey team. And now he's everybody's Olympic mascot, pulling in $500,000 a day for everything he's doing out at the Olympics, and I love it. And now he's getting set to be a coach on The Voice. His net worth before the Olympics and The Voice was estimated at $160 million. I tell you what, we are a forgiving country. God bless you, Snoop. Keep up the good work.
Not bad for a kid from the hood.
Yeah.
Si se puede.
Impressive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so let's get into some fun. Y'all ready?
Let's do this.
All right. Produced in Los Angeles, what's the largest Spanish language newspaper in the U.S.?
Frogger.
Frogger.
La Opinión.
La Opinión is correct.
Extra point for
Griffith
the
Park
pronunciation?
No, you don't. Griffith Park Observatory has a bronze bust statue on its grounds of what 1950s movie star?
Jen?
Oh, Frogger.
James Dean?
James Dean is correct from all the filming that was done there in
The
Rebel
filming,
Without a
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What city did the Clippers move from in 1984 when they moved to Los Angeles? Frogger.
You're dropping your own sound drops that only you and I are picking up, and I love it. San Diego.
Correct. What sound drops?
Oh, I thought that was
Yeah.
from a different radio show.
Well, you already got me kicked off with the number.
I know.
What's the name of the Los Angeles WNBA team?
Frogger.
Frogger.
Was that me or you?
That was you.
Okay, Sparks.
Also, I don't know if I know that.
Sparks is correct.
I should know that answer. That's my maiden name.
Is it really?
Also WNBA, what team does Caitlin Clark play for?
Frogger.
Frogger.
Check me. Indiana Fever.
Wow. Frogger is the WNBA fan. I love it.
He's
There we
wearing
go.
the jersey as we speak.
Yep. Kevin
It's a
Durant
medium.
just broke the all-time record for most points scored in Olympic basketball history. Whose record did he break?
Frogger.
Frogger.
It's got to be the man, Michael Jordan.
Incorrect.
Oh.
Jen, you got it. It's a female.
Oh.
Lisa Leslie?
Lisa Leslie is correct. Nice
Oh, my
play.
gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Is Andrew back yet?
No.
Not yet. He's still working
Come
on
on
keeping
now, Andrew.
folks routed around. By the way,
would
producer
have known
Sarah's
that.
telling me that it's Soledad and Sierra Highway. So stay away from Soledad and Sierra Highway. Traffic backed up, and it looks like Soledad is shut down. Producer Sarah.
And you could expect weather in the high 90s today.
There we go.
What new Olympic event that starts today gets its roots
Jen.
from Brooklyn, New York? Jen.
Breakdancing.
Yeah. Don't watch it. I watched a little bit of it this morning, and there was an Italian woman and a Chinese woman, and it didn't feel right. It didn't bring me back to. Never mind. Olympic mascot Snoop Dogg. What's Snoop's real name?
Frogger.
Frogger.
Calvin Brodus.
That is correct.
Wow.
What's Eminem's real name?
Jen.
Oh.
Jen.
Marshall Mathers.
Nice job. What is Dr. Dre's real name?
Frogger.
You got me.
Frogger.
Mr. Dre. He's not a real doctor.
He plays a doctor in rap videos.
Jen, you got anything?
I do not.
Andre Young.
Yeah, I figured it was Andre, but I didn't know the last name.
The Giant.
What is Ice Cube's real name?
Who's that?
What?
Ice Cube's real name.
Oh. It's not Ice Cube?
I don't know either.
No.
Andrew's running in here. He's yelling.
All right. Andrew's got it.
Ice Cube's real name.
O'Shea Jackson.
There we go. Nice pull, Andrew.
He's like yelling down the hall.
And he's on the board. Never seen Andrew run that fast.
This we've asked before. Let's see how good your guys' memory is. TMZ is a popular TV show, but what does TMZ
Andrew.
Jen.
Oh.
Andrew.
30 Mile Zone. I'm on fire.
Correct.
Okay. Follow-up question. What does the 30-mile zone mean?
For tax purposes, 30 miles from Hollywood. If you filmed within there, I think you get a tax break.
All right.
It's not a tax break. It's actually you're right. It is a 30-mile radius. But if actors or actresses or people in the studios, if you've got your SAG card and you're outside of that 30-mile zone, you get a spiff.
A spliff?
A spiff.
Oh,
Extra money.
okay. I thought we were going back to Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. Going back to it.
Excuse me while I
What was the name of the coffee shop in the show Friends?
Jen.
I think I heard Andrew first.
We got a photo finish.
We'll give it to Andrew.
Central Perk.
Yes, it was. What was the name of the sarcastic, bleach blonde barista in Friends who worked at Central Perk?
Frogger.
Oh, my
Frogger.
goodness.
Frogger.
That was Gunther.
Gunther is correct.
I don't know where that was filed in my brain.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna name a character from a movie, and you tell me what movie it was. Okay.
Okay.
Jeff Spicoli.
Andrew.
Andrew.
Fast Times. Richmond High.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Correct. Side question: what band did Spicoli hire to play at his birthday party?
Andrew.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Andrew.
No, I'll give it to Frogger. Go ahead.
It was Van Halen.
It was Van Halen. All right.
All right.
McLovin.
Andrew.
Oh,
Andrew.
Super bad.
Superbad's correct.
he just passed you, Jen.
I know.
Randall McMurphy and Nurse Ratched.
Frogger.
Frogger.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That is correct. Norman Bates.
Frogger.
Jen.
Frogger.
That was House, Hill, Psycho.
Psycho.
He got there.
Eventually.
Inigo Montoya.
Jen.
Oh,
Jen.
The Princess Bride.
Great movie. Hal.
Jen.
Wow.
Jen.
Frogger.
Shallow Hal.
Right?
No.
That's what I was going to think.
I'm going.
I don't know. It's probably wrong.
Wasn't
Andrew?
Hal-
It was the. You're sorry, Dave, or was it that one?
Yes. Yes, you got it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like a
what's not coming to me?
computery
But I know it.
sci-fi type
Frogger.
of thing.
Is it Lost in Space?
No.
Oh,
2001 Space Odyssey.
Oh, boy.
But it was that one. Yeah.
All right. Groot.
Andrew.
Jen.
Oh, Jen.
I got Andrew first.
You go ahead.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, there's a couple. But
That's correct. Johnny Utah.
Frogger.
Andrew.
Frogger.
Point Break.
Via con Dios.
Tony, I don't think that was worth 1 point. Utah. Give me two. One more question, Big T. One more question.
Oh. All right. Buzz Lightyear.
Jen.
Jen.
Toy Story.
You want me to keep rolling with one or two more of these?
We can do one more.
All right. Sarah Connor.
Jen.
Andrew. Ooh, Jen.
I got Jen.
Terminator.
Last one.
Terminator's correct.
Hurry up.
Axel Foley.
Jen.
Andrew.
Jen.
Beverly Hills Cop.
And with that, she
Correct.
pulled it away and took second. You got the silver. All right, Big T, thanks a lot. I also want to thank our guest, President of the Leap Children's Museum of Santa Clarita, Carrie McCoy, Senior at iLead Agua Dulce High School and Girl Scout Gold Award candidate Sam Diem, Producer Sarah, Engineer Jen, Engineer Andrew, and thank you for listening. Remember, friends, life is hard, but we are all here to help each other along. Be well, do good, and have a great weekend. Join me at Celebrate Japan at C4 tonight at 6 p.m. And join us next week and every Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.